Hello, girls, guys, or otherwise. This is Rich, and welcome to another Tarot Talk Tuesday. Today, we are going over the Seven of Swords. I'm going to try to make this a short and sweet video because I have a lot of things going on over this week and next week, as I've mentioned in other videos. So I actually scripted out kind of what I wanted to say in this video. So there's going to be a little less rambling, a little bit less off the cuff stuff, and a little bit more just like let's get down to the point and whatnot. I already have Witchy Wednesday and Table Talk Thursday all done and uploaded, ready to be released on a scheduled basis, at least for this week. So those will be a little bit more laid back, a little bit more talking and whatnot. So let me just go ahead and do some housekeeping things. If you are not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right, I believe it's right here. There's a little subscribe button down there. Go ahead and hit that if you have not already subscribed. If you like these videos, leave a thumbs up. It helps appease the algorithmic gods of YouTube. All hail the algorithmic gods of YouTube. And if you have any questions, comments, or otherwise, anything to add or take away to the conversation, especially about the Seven of Swords, for today's video, just go ahead and leave those down in the comments. I do read them all. I might not always get to them all, but I do read them, and it just fills my heart with joy. Also, if you have any suggestions for upcoming Christo-Paganism Sunday videos or Witchy Wednesday videos, go ahead and leave those suggestions down in the comments as well, or you can always email them to me. I know that a couple of you are sending healing energy to one of my coworkers, which is one of the reasons I have such a hectic schedule this month, particularly this span of like 2 weeks that I'm like kind of in the middle of. So she does have cancer, and if you guys can send healing energy, Reiki, what have you, I think that would be much appreciated. If you need her name, I don't want to say it over the internets, but if you need her name for any type of healing modalities that you utilize, go ahead and email me, and I'll just go ahead and shoot you her name real quick. You can also get in touch with me on Twitter. If you have not followed me on Twitter, I can be reached there, and you can direct message me. I might not always see your message because it sometimes goes to the needs to be approved first type of thing, but once I approve you, then I get a little alerts and whatnot, and I do try to check that from time to time. So anyway, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get our coffee, tea, what have you. I am drinking peppermint tea by Bigelow, so let's go ahead and get a little bit of that. Sorry for hitting the mic there. It might happen from time to time. It's the way we roll here. Let's go ahead and bring up the pictorial key of the tarot, and let's also bring up our image of the card and the pictorial key of the tarot. And I'm reading off my screen over here so you know why I'm looking over there. It reads, a man in the act of carrying away 5 swords rapidly. The two others of the card remain stuck in the ground. A camp is close at hand. Divinatory meaning. And I have some comments on this. Design, attempt, wish, hope, confidence, and quarreling. A plan that may fail. Annoyance. The design is uncertain in this import because the significations are widely at variance with each other. Reversed, good advice, counsel, instruction, slander, babbling. Okay, only about half of that meaning for one makes sense, and for two, it is what I would say is accurate to this card, as we're going to dive into. Not a huge fan of AE weight. The only reason that I do go by the pictorial key of the tarot is because this is what would have been out. This is the book that you would have gotten in order to learn how to read this particular deck. So Let's go ahead and get AE weight out of here, and let's get down into the overall here. So let's break it down. Go ahead and click that. First, we have the sneaky bastard, this guy. The sneaky bastard who is awkwardly carrying 5 of the 7 swords away from this camp place. He isn't wearing any type of armor, and it seems to be that he's tiptoeing away. He's looking behind himself as if he knows he's doing something that he's doing something that he shouldn't be doing. So I refer to him as a sneaky bastard because we don't know male or female. Could be male, could be female. We don't really know. It's kind of androgynous, the way that they're dressed and the way that the hair is done and whatnot. And I think Pamela Coleman Smith kind of made it purposely that way. I think there is so much purpose in the... Sorry for hitting the mic there. In the cards themselves and how they were constructed and whatnot, I think that everything in the cards were done with a purpose. But the point to note here is that he's looking behind him. He's sneaking away. He kind of has a little smirk on his face, a little bit. Maybe he knows he might get away. Maybe he knows that he might not get away. The reason I say he might not get away is because he's looking over his shoulder. If he was this confident that he was getting away with it, he probably wouldn't look over his shoulder. So, yeah, that is the sneaky bastard. And we're going to get into a little bit about him here in a minute. But first, I want to go with our grandest of traditions. Seeing the way that the light hits the swords here. I think our tradition might actually be broken because the light is all facing the same direction. If this were about him, I would think that the 2 in his or her, I'm going to use his, because I do believe most accounts point him as a male. The sneaky bastard, the right hand, if it was about him and his thoughts and his words and deeds and whatnot, I think the light would be facing towards that individual. However, all of the light is facing from the same direction. So I think our grandest of traditions with looking at which way the light side of the shading on the swords is kind of done here. I think this kind of puts the nail in the coffin, guys. Sorry. However, if we were to keep with it, I would say that the thoughts and mindsets are past ones, since the left, in the way that I read tarot, the left is predominantly the past, and that it would be leading to a dark future, mentally and intellectually. So that's what my thoughts are on the shading. It might be done, but if we were to read more into it, it might point to the past was nice and bright, and your future might be dark. I think that's a little stretching it at that point, though. But it was a good try while we were at it. And I do want to continue looking at the shading throughout the swords, just to see how much of that continues through. So the next thing I want to focus on is actually this little group that is far away. And I never noticed that this group was there until I started to do the studying for this. So I have here, the next thing I want to focus on is the group away in the background. We don't know who they are or what they're doing, but we can be pretty certain that the sneaky bastard is not part of them. If he was a part of them, it might show him actually walking towards them or something of that sort. These are probably the owners of the swords and possibly the inhabitants of the tents. So let's go ahead and go to the tents. You notice that they're not chasing him or anything. They're kind of in their own little world there. So let me go into the tents. Now we have two groupings of the tents here. We have ones further in the foreground and another set of two back here in the background underneath the sneaky bastard legs. Now I have read, sorry about that, my phone's going off because somebody liked my Twitter post. Thank you if you're watching this. Matter of fact, let's stop for a second. Let's say thank you to Thomas, who liked my post of me getting the first of the Moderna vaccines through my military weekend reserve duties, and Thomas is liking a lot more. Thank you, Thomas. If you are out there watching, thank you very much. You know who you are because they're liking some of my posts. You should really follow me on Twitter. Just a little thing. Okay, back to these tents. These tents that I have read are part of a military camp. Now, we can't be sure of this because they don't really look military-esque to me. Being in the military, this looks more like a circus tent than a military tent. But if it were a circus tent, it doesn't explain why they have swords in there to begin with. So, could be military, could be a crowd of Bedouins or something like that, a group of Bedouins that are traveling. Could be Romani people traveling from place to place. And I use them as an example only because that is what is more familiar. And I will not use the G word except for talking about the fortune-telling deck. And I don't know if you guys can see her. Let's see. Let me take this away. Hold on. 1 second. You see who's up here looking to help out. Hi. Hi, baby. Okay. Unfortunately, your head's going to get covered up again. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, Jelly is joining me here. I said this was going to be scripted and it was going to be kind of, straightforward to the point and whatnot. But then I go on little tangents. Look how that happens. So curious. Anyway. I don't even know where I stopped off right now. So we can't be sure if these are military, but we can look at these as homes of sorts. If we look at it like this, the overall meaning of the card would make more sense rather than looking at it as a military camp, a makeshift village of sorts. So let's put it all together. And there we go. Okay. So putting it all together, if you identify as the person, the main person, you might be sneaking around, behind other people's backs. Maybe you're gossiping or taking someone's ideas. Either way, you're going to be found out. Watch around you because you don't know who may be watching you. Every time that you're looking over your shoulder, there might be somebody looking at you from the other side. So do be aware of that. As with this person, what you leave behind could point back to you. So he's leaving behind these two swords. Now, we don't see any footprints or anything, but one thing to keep in mind is whatever you're leaving behind nowadays could be fingerprints, could be footprints, could be a trail of some sort. You're leaving clues for other people to find you out. So, best case scenario, don't be a sneaky little bastard. That would be my thing. If you are the people in the background, then I would say that that you need to circle your wagons in case someone is trying to take your property, physical or intellectual. Again, remember that swords are intellectual, mental processes, your mental hard work in and of itself. So it represents the mind and the mental aspects, the intellectual property that we have. So this could be somebody trying to steal that. Maybe you have an idea for something. Watch your back because somebody might be trying to take it. As a whole, let's see. This as a whole could tell you, if you look at it as a whole instead of as individuals, could tell you to be willing to take what you can, but don't expect or demand everything. You may need to put yourself first, along with your wants and needs, rather than being overly concerned with others. So, that meaning, you know, if this is a business situation or this is a mental endeavor, a creativity endeavor, you know, take what you can from it. If you're making a deal, take what you can. You know what? It's okay to, leave 2% on the table or 20% on the table if you're getting the 80% or the 98%. If you don't get everything, that's okay. Take it. Be be ruthless in it and take what you can. But if you can't take it all, don't worry about it. It's okay. The mantra that I would say for this one is it's all business. Or it's just business. Whenever you're focusing on a situation like this, people might say that you're playing hardball and whatnot. It's just business. You're taking what you can any way that you can, and if you don't get it all, it's just business, and it's not personal. You're just looking out for yourself, which you deserve to do. People, especially nowadays, especially in the witchy pagan community, the ones that are more prone to be watching this, we are more prone, because a lot of us are more empathic, to give up a lot more of ourselves. And this could be, somebody stealing from you, whether it be energy vampires of sort, quote unquote, or it could be, you purposely giving too much of yourself. So this card might come up to remind you to, squirrel away a little self-love time. Time to yourself is okay to have. And I think that's kind of what this card might represent, especially if you get something like the Four of Swords to go along with it. If those two both come up in the same reading or around one another in a reading, I would definitely say, cloister in a little bit, kind of circle the wagons, and give yourself some respite. Give yourself some time and rest away from everything. Finally, it could say that it is time to take your ball and go home. Sometimes it's just okay to say, I'm done, I quit. So, taking what you can and going home, you may not be able to get everything that you put in, but you get what you can now, and you go on with your life. And if you hear the door rattling, it's because the little kitty is in here with Jelly and I, and she is playing underneath the door with nobody on the other side, which doesn't make any sense, but hey, she is her own person. Now, in reverse, maybe you're hiding a secret. Maybe you're deceiving yourself or others. Are you tricking yourself into believing something? Maybe you're robbing yourself of your own satisfaction by saying you don't deserve something. So these are some things that, if it comes up in reverse, definitely ask yourself about it. So that is what I have for the Seven of Swords, upright and reversed. If you agree or disagree, or maybe you're impartial, maybe you only have suggestions for Christo-Paganism Sunday or Witchy Wednesday, all of those and more, go ahead and put in the comment section below. Remember to hit that like and subscribe buttons, button respectively, and yeah, join me on Witchy Wednesday. I am making my study incense. I don't usually uh, show you guys like my process for recipes and making things such as incense, but this is one of the ones that I personally had a suggestion for. Get down off that table now. Jelly's being bad. All boo Jelly. Boo. So, anyway, uh, yeah, so Witchy Wednesday, I have the Study Incense. Table Talk Thursday, we got our topic from the Table Topics Cube, which I don't have handy to show you guys. And join us on Saturday for our Witchy Book Club series, where we will be discussing Chapter 11. And then again on Sunday for, I believe we're doing Ostara? I think. Yes, I believe it's Ostara. I think that's the one that was close enough that it's not actually on the day. I believe. Anyway, that's all I have for this week. I am incredibly tired. I'm going to go ahead and edit this down. Whoops, wrong one. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and edit this down because I am tired. I just came home from work and had dinner, and now it is time to relax with some nice, relaxing reading. Probably going to go with the Inner Temple Witchcraft Chapter 11 because I need to outline that so I can shoot it on Friday, I think, or by Friday. So I can get that up and to you guys. Anyway, again, if you can send healing energy to my coworker, help her deal through this tough time that she's having, it would be much appreciated. Until next time, may you have love, hugs, and ladybugs. Bye-bye.